Hello, friend. This is Marshall with Zan 2 Cent coming at you again with another fabulous fragrance. Today we're talking about two fabulous fragrances today from the house of Swiss Arabian. So the two fragrances I'll be speaking about are Oud Al Ghutra and Attar Al Ghutra. I think it was three actually fragrances from this particular line, but I'm only talking about two. Well, I only have two, so I'll be talking about these two. But before I get into this review, I'd like to ask you to click like and subscribe to the channel down below as I strive to bring you more creative content about these fabulous fragrances out here impacting our daily lives. And you know this channel for you individuals who physically can't put that nose to a fragrance but like to have a good idea of the description of what these fragrances actually smell like. So with that said, let's go ahead and dive right into it. So friends, the fragrance I'm speaking about today, or the two, is the first one up is Attar Al Ghutra. Really, this fragrance is, yeah, I mean, the raspberry note here is really nice. I'm about to get into that, but this fragrance is something that's different from my collection that I actually have. It's something totally different. I don't have anything like this particular fragrance in my collection. So out of the two, I really do like this particular fragrance because I think it's more wearable, more crowd pleasing. This fragrance here. So when you first spray this fragrance on, you get a oasis of fruits, almost so to say, but more prominent is the raspberry note. So you get marjoram, you got orange, you have thyme, you have saffron, and then you have oud. And so you get the spice from the saffron, and you get a little bit of that oud also, but it's nothing but the most prominent note in the opening is definitely the raspberry note, and that note actually stays throughout the whole fragrance, very faintly in the dry down though, but it really has a good strand of raspberry in this particular fragrance. And then when it transitions into the middle notes, we actually get rose, jasmine, oud, patchouli, and resin. And I must say that the floral notes in this fragrance are subtle. I think they get the more heavier notes, or more, it's the more power notes in the fragrance. So the floral notes that you do get in more heady is actually the jasmine than the rose to me in this particular fragrance. But along with that patchouli, the patchouli adds in that earthly type of vibe going on with that, but it's not really staying like very prominent, but it does add complexity to the particular fragrance itself. And then along with the oud, so we have more oud in the particular in the middle dry down. So you can see oud is also a star player in this particular fragrance. But I must say the oud in this fragrance here, this one, it's not overbearing like some traditional fluids. It's a very wearable oud, and that's what I liked about it. And then drying down, we get to dry down. We get oud once again, sandalwood, leather, suede, and amber. And the dry down is where the leather starts to shine. It really shines in this particular fragrance in the dry down, and for it is a leather fragrance. So, but the leather starts to shine in that dry down, and it's a very nice leather note in the dry down. Alongside with the woods and the oud, and also the sandalwood. So the overall picture which you definitely get with this fragrance is a fruity opening with some spice, and start almost like incense, along with the oud adding the slight musk, also the woody composition with the leather note. And the leather note in here is very beautiful. So it's a very beautiful leather fragrance with some fruity accords. So the performance, leading me into the performance with this particular fragrance. The performance on this fragrance is great. 8 hours easily with this fragrance. If you spray it on your clothes the next day, no doubt about that. I sprayed this on my clothes before, I had it before, and the next day you still get the what you get more prominent in the next day is the like almost incense spice, the leather core with that. So the next day on your clothes, man, it's stuck. It's on there until you wash it. The projection on the first 2 or 3 hours with this fragrance spraying it on, nice scent bubble, very nice scent bubble. Uh, People will smell you within, I mean, at a distance with this particular fragrance on. So, and also that leads me to the silage. The silage in this fragrance is also good. You will leave a scent trail with this fragrance, and the scent trail will be more so of a after the first 2 3 hours, the fruity wood, the rose, I mean the raspberry, along with the spice and the incense with the leather note. So the silage in here is very nice. But where should you wear this fragrance, or where can you wear the fragrance? Definitely for me, daytime or evening time for me is this fragrance is very versatile in that particular aspect. But I think it does shine more in the evening. I think it does a better job in the evening than it does in the daytime. But as you can wear them equally so. And definitely in the cooler months, fall, winter, spring, early spring at that. Um, I know me personally, it would be a fragrance that I'd be wearing in the summertime of the hottest day, hottest time of the day or months. This fragrance, for me, it doesn't do that, but it does perfectly well in the fall, winter, cooler months. And that's exactly what I'm speaking about today, because that's exactly the time of the season that we are or that we are at. So yeah, that leaves me with that's what I have for the scent profile for this particular fragrance. I think is a very well blended fragrance they put together. Very enjoyable way, especially for an individual who's trying to get into oud fragrances. I like to have what idea what oud can actually do for them. I think this is a starter, or you can get a good idea like, oh, I can wear the oud. So yeah, man, that I'm telling you, man. As soon as you opening the top and smelling you get that raspberry note in this particular fragrance. So that's what I get, man. Just I think you get a leather fragrance with a fruity accords with spice and almost incense type of vibe going on with that. So that's what I have. Attar Al Ghutra. So friends, the second fragrance I'll be speaking about this line is Oud Al Ghutra. Try and get it right for y'all. You see, there we go. Oud Al Ghutra. Yeah, this fragrance here, I had to learn to appreciate this fragrance. When I first sprayed this fragrance on, I was like, man, nah, it's not for me. Then about 2-3 hours later, smelled the fragrance again. I like, oh, it evolved into a beautiful leather fragrance, leather and tobacco fragrance, or what it evolved to me. And then so it is a love and hate type of fragrance. And either you like it or you don't like it. And it's the same thing for the person that's smelling it on the person that's wearing it. Either they like the fragrance on you or they don't like the fragrance on you. And I think this fragrance is more of a fragrance that smells better in the air fragrance than close upon your nose. So the opening of this particular fragrance we have is lavender, artemisia, and also grapefruit. But they have no stand power in the opening. They may last maybe a minute or two, but they just get overpowered by the more heavier notes, which it starts to evolve into the middle notes of the tobacco leaf, spice notes, and also the leather. So the leather, it gives way immediately to those middle notes, and which should start opening up even more so for the oud and the ambergris in the dry down. So it's a very simple but complex fragrance. I mean, it has depth in this fragrance. Seriously, it really has depth in this particular fragrance. So, but that's what you get overall. It's a beautiful leather tobacco fragrance. But I think it does its better job in the dry down than the transitioning or the evolving of the fragrance itself. Because some people don't, me myself personally, I like the dry down. The evolving of it is something that one has to go to appreciate what the fragrance actually is and what the designer actually had in mind when they made this, what they made this fragrance here. So yeah, it's Oud Al Ghutra, and that tells you exactly what it is. And I think it has two particular specific ouds in here: Indian oud and Carbonian oud. So yeah, oud is in here, and it's oud. I think it's like a paradox almost with oud. You know, oud is like a musty, stinky, but beautiful fragrance. So yeah, that's what you get. So, but the performance on this fragrance, so I'm trying to get the good lighting in here. Alright, it's not working out right now. But anyway, the performance on this fragrance, definitely 8 hours with this fragrance easily. To me, it performs better than the Attar Al Ghutra. It has more staying power on the fragrance, on the skin, and also definitely on the clothes. Now, the projection on this fragrance, I think is good, but it's not as expanding more so like Attar Al Ghutra. It's not confined as much, but it is confined in a sense. You know, it's more confined. And also the silage in this fragrance, you definitely get a good silage with this fragrance. Spray this on, you don't definitely leave a scent trail with this fragrance. A very complex scent trail with this fragrance. But that's definitely what this fragrance was actually going for. The Oud Al Ghutra, you know, oud, tobacco, and leather. You know, and that is what it is. So it's a very complex leather fragrance with a tobacco, dry tobacco at that type of vibe with this fragrance. So where should you wear this fragrance at? I think this fragrance does very good job in evening settings. Definitely, it's a fragrance that I wouldn't wear in the daytime or the hot months. It's a fragrance that I would wear in the cooler months, cold months, evening wear, evening settings, cigar lounge, chilling with the friends, you know, the boys, going somewhere similar like that. You possibly could pull it off in a formal setting just because it is a leather note. You know, and I know leather fragrances does pretty good well in formal settings, and this one is no different from that aspect. And but yeah, that's overall what I have for this fragrance. I mean, I think it's a fragrance that one has to you know, either love or hate and come to appreciate what the fragrance actually is. You know, and that's exactly what it is. So, because this fragrance is definitely different from anything that I have in my collection. But I know maybe on the foresight in the future that I will be coming across more fragrances exactly like this, because I do want to get into more oud fragrances that's maybe even more oud based than this particular fragrance is, because it has opened the door for me to want to explore more oud fragrances. So, but yeah, that's what I have. Not Atar, Oud Al Ghutra from the house of Swiss Arabia. Outro. So friends, there you have it. That's the fragrance review that I have for these two fragrances from this house of Swiss Arabia, Oud Al Ghutra and Attar Al Ghutra. I must say these fragrances definitely have me wondering and pondering about what other fragrances out there, oud fragrances that what they actually can do for me. So it actually expanded my consciousness about ouds and oud fragrances. So yeah, that's what I have. I hope you enjoyed the review as much as I did. Definitely comment down below if you did. If you have these fragrances and you have any experiences with these fragrances, definitely comment down below. I'd like to hear from you also. And also, you borderline by getting these fragrances, or maybe I haven't answered a question or any thoughts that came to mind in the description, definitely comment down below. I'd like to hear from you also. So, but until next time, as always, love, peace, and prosperity. May wealth be on your pathway. Peace.